The drama surrounding Taraji P. Henson, Nia Long and Terrence Howard has been bubbling under the surface for years, but recent revelations have finally brought it all to light. What many believed was a feud sparked by Nia and Terrence turning on Taraji during their time working together on Empire has now taken a dramatic turn. The truth is far more complex and far more damning for Taraji. Karen Howard and Neil Long recently linked up to expose some long-buried truths about what really went down behind the scenes of the hit show, and it turns out that Taraji wasn't just caught in the middle, she was the one who started the mess. For years, fans speculated that Nia Long and Terrence Howard had ganged up on Taraji, making her feel unwelcome on set and creating unnecessary tension during filming. That narrative was easy to believe, especially since Taraji was the show's leading lady and had been with the series from the beginning. But what most people didn't know was that the real source of the conflict came from Taraji herself. She was the one who felt threatened by Nia's presence, even though Nia was only signed on for 6 episodes as a guest star. It all started back in season 3 when Nia made her debut as a love interest for Terrence's character, Lucius Lyon. Her casting was meant to add some spice to the storyline, and no one expected it to cause any real-life drama. However, Taraji reportedly took immediate issue with Nia's arrival. Sources close to the situation claim that Taraji felt insecure about her position on the show and worried that Nia might somehow overshadow her or take over the spotlight. Instead of handling this professionally, Taraji allegedly began spreading rumors about Nia and encouraging members of the crew to side with her against Nia. One of the first attacks came in the form of allegations that Nia was always late to set and had a bad attitude. While delays are common in the entertainment industry, the way these claims were handled suggests a coordinated effort to paint Nia in a negative light. There were reports that Nia would sometimes be missing during crucial script-read rehearsals, forcing someone else to stand in for her so Taraji and Terrence could practice their lines. Whether this was due to scheduling conflicts or other issues isn't entirely clear, but the fact remains that Taraji and her team used these incidents to fuel a growing narrative that Nia was difficult to work with. As tensions rose, things escalated further when someone on set made a joke about black people time in reference to Nia arriving late. The comment was clearly meant to be humorous, but Nia didn't find it funny and responded with visible frustration. It was at this point that Taraji stepped in, not to defuse the situation, but to pile on. She made a strange and arguably sexist remark about Nia being on her period, implying that her emotional response was hormonal rather than justified. This kind of gaslighting is often used to dismiss women's feelings, and coming from another woman, it stung even more. The hair and makeup team also reportedly filed an official complaint against Nia, accusing her of changing her mind last minute about how she wanted to look on camera. Again, whether this was a legitimate issue or simply part of a smear campaign is unclear, but it contributed to the overall pattern of hostility aimed at Nia. Meanwhile, Taraji positioned herself as the only one brave enough to stand up to Nia, feeding stories to outlets like TMZ and painting herself as the victim of Nia's supposed diva behavior. But the final straw came on Nia's last day of filming. In what should have been a celebratory send-off, Nia was denied the traditional wrap party applause that most actors receive upon completing their run on a television show. Instead of acknowledging her contribution, the crew remained silent, leaving Nia feeling disrespected and undervalued. According to insiders, this snub was orchestrated by the producers in order to keep Taraji happy. As the show's lead actress, Taraji held significant influence, and it seems the production team prioritized keeping her satisfied over treating Nia fairly. Nia reportedly expressed her disappointment to someone in the production department, warning them that she might sue over the breach of contract. She had every right to expect a proper farewell, and the lack of recognition felt like a personal attack. But instead of addressing the issue head-on, the powers that be allowed the situation to fester, further damaging morale on set and deepening the rift between cast members. Terrence Howard, who had known both women prior to Empire, found himself caught in the middle. Initially supportive of Taraji, he eventually sided with Nia after witnessing the unfair treatment she endured. This decision did not sit well with Taraji, who had helped Terrence land the role of Lucius Lyon in the first place. She felt betrayed by his willingness to defend Nia, interpreting it as a personal slight rather than a matter of principle. The tension between them grew to the point where rumors of a full-blown feud began circulating in the media. In an attempt to quell the speculation, Taraji and Terrence released a now-deleted video in which they joked around and addressed the rumors directly. In the clip, Taraji playfully called Terrence a diva and asked, "Who do you think you are?" while poking fun at the idea that they weren't getting along. The caption accompanying the video read something like, "Word on the street is Terrence and I don't get along. Like I would fight to work with someone I don't get along with. Don't be silly. Gotta come better than that, stupid rumors, dummies. Wasted paper and ink on that BS." Despite the light-hearted facade, the underlying tension never fully dissipated. During a later interview with Bella NYC magazine, Taraji was once again asked about the feud. She feigned confusion, saying, "Where did that rumor come from that Terrence and I are feuding? I fought to have him on the show. We've known each other for 10 years and worked together before. Why would I fight with someone I fought for?" Her comments seemed rehearsed, designed to deflect rather than clarify. The reality was that the damage had already been done, and both Nia and Terrence had grown wary of working with Taraji again. Nia reportedly turned down future projects just to avoid having to share a set with Taraji, while Terrence eventually moved on to other opportunities. They both seemed eager to put the past behind them, even if the scars remained. Interestingly, Terrence and Taraji did reunite briefly for a project called Fight Night: The $1 Million Heist. According to Terrence, their interactions were cordial, and there were no lingering hard feelings. However, fans couldn't help but recall the earlier drama whenever they saw the two together. Some viewers pointed out that Taraji's current complaints about the industry mirrored the very behaviors she had once exhibited toward others. One person commented, "When I hear difficult to work with, what I really hear is boundaries that other people try to play with." Another added, "Remember, Monique, when you stand on business, people get irritated, especially those who are used to bending over." Indeed, Taraji has become increasingly vocal about pay disparities and the challenges faced by black actors in Hollywood. She's spoken openly about feeling undervalued and underpaid, particularly when it comes to her contributions to the Empire franchise. But given her history of allegedly undermining colleagues like Nia and Terrence, some critics argue that she's now reaping what she sowed. People who once supported her through thick and thin stayed silent when she cried foul over financial matters, perhaps because they remembered how she treated others during similar situations. This brings us to the larger conversation about accountability, ego, and the price of fame. Taraji has undoubtedly earned her success, but her actions behind the scenes reveal a pattern of insecurity and manipulation that can't be ignored. Nia and Terrence, meanwhile, were unfairly painted as villains for simply defending themselves against baseless accusations and workplace disrespect. So where does this leave us? With a clearer understanding of how easily narratives can be twisted in the world of entertainment. What looked like a straightforward case of betrayal was actually a calculated campaign of sabotage fueled by jealousy and fear. And while Taraji may continue to portray herself as the misunderstood hero of her own story, the truth is far less flattering. Fans are left wondering whether Taraji will ever acknowledge her role in the chaos, or if she'll continue shifting blame onto others. Either way, the story of Nia, Terrence, and Taraji serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of letting ego cloud judgment, and the importance of treating colleagues with respect, regardless of your position on set. Ultimately, the biggest takeaway here is that loyalty and support are reciprocal. You can't burn bridges and then expect people to rally around you when you're in trouble. And if there's one thing this saga has proven, it's that Taraji P. Henson burned a lot of bridges, and now she's walking across the ashes alone.